So in this online tutorial, I'm going to be showing you all how you can create logos that look like this, that are really professional using Midjourney in honestly around 5 minutes or so. I'm also going to be showing you how you can make logos like this, and logos like this. So I'm going to show you how to make two kinds of logos. And of course, people do pay for these logos, but I'm going to show you how to make them really, really quickly, depending on what your preference is. So I'm going to show you the logos that I've recently created. And I was experimenting when I was making a tutorial earlier, and this is the logo that I did just create on Midjourney. Here's another gaming logo, and here is another gaming logo. And these were all just created within seconds using Midjourney. I'm going to show you the exact prompt that you need if you want to achieve this, and then I'm going to show you how you can use that prompt to get it all into Adobe Illustrator, where the file is completely non-pixelated. Because as we know, Midjourney does upscale your images, but the problem with Midjourney is that these images can't be used on official documents when you are trying to transfer over this logo. So I'm going to show you the quick step to do that. Now, the only platform that you're going to need other than Midjourney is, of course, Adobe Illustrator. And this is around $20 a month. And I think it's absolutely worth it if you are starting a business, because if you are starting a business or a clothing brand, then you're going to need this when it comes to, looking at certain designs. So let's head on over to Midjourney to see how you can create a logo like this within seconds. So as you guys can see right here from my previous prompts, this was the logo that I generated. Now I'm going to break down the prompt and why I used that specific prompt. So the prompt I used for this one right here, for this recent bear logo, was a combination of 4 different things. So number one, we had exactly what you wanted. Then of course we have the theme. So I chose the theme esports. Then of course we always need to include the word mascot, because when you include the word mascot, essentially it tells the AI software that we are incorporating some kind of character. Then of course you want to include the word logo. Then of course your color scheme, because color schemes are very important. And one of the most important things by far that you definitely need to include is white background. If you don't include a white background, what will happen is when you try to transfer over the file project, essentially what will happen is there are going to be some mistakes, because the color of the background is going to be the color of the logo. And then with stuff like this, you can't really get the logo taken off because it just messes up. So you want to have a white background where possible. So also, if you want to use Midjourney, understand that there are 2 variations that you're going to have. V4, which is just standard at the moment, is essentially going to be more stylized and more creative, whereas V5 is going to be a lot more clean and a lot more professional and a lot more modern looking. So depending on the style that you want, I would recommend personally to go for V5, because V5 honestly produces better logos in my honest opinion. But if you want to go for V4, they also look just as good as well. But sometimes they do have some text that you, of course, it's not going to be easy to remove, but you can also remove that text as well. But that's something that you can do as well. So let's try and recreate a logo that we see online, because I want to do a new example. I was actually doing a chef example right here, you guys can see, and I'll show you how to actually add the text in the way that I've added it, and how to get the right fonts and the right text that match up with your logo, and how to get the right color scheme as well. So let's go ahead. So I'm going to see right here if I can make one of these logos. So I'm going to choose one. That's really simple. So let's see if I can go ahead and make one. So let's see that sports guy. These look pretty basic. So, okay, so a guy with a juice cup, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and make this prompt, and then I'm going to show you, okay? So a guy holding a juice, okay, for a juice bar, okay? So what I'm going to do is a guy wearing apron, cartoon, mascot logo. Then I'm going to put some colors. And of course, the colors here are orange and green. So I'm going to put orange and green, and then I'm going to put white background, okay? Then, of course, for this one, because I want it to be a lot more cleaner, I'm going to put V5 in it, because I just think that's going to give me a lot more color. So I'm going to just do both of them, because I want to see what I get. So I'm also can't believe I didn't actually write that prompt. So I'm going to have to type in imagine again, and then I'm going to put there. Then I'm going to do this prompt again. And then the reason I'm going to do this prompt again is because I want to see what versions look best. So I'm going to do V4 and V5. And when I was experimenting right here, you see that depending on what you want, you might just have your own stylized preference. So I'm going to go ahead and wait for this to come up. And then once I have the prompt or the final image, then I can see exactly what's going on. So right here, we've got our final prompts down, and this looks really good. So I think that the one that encapsulates our design best is going to be the one on upgrade 3. So I'm going to upgrade the 3rd design right there. I'm going to upgrade that. And then I think as well, what also does look good is the number 1 here. But it just depends on what kind of vibe you're going for. This one definitely looks the most basic. It looks the most realistic. So I'm going to go ahead and open this in browser. And then I'm going to go ahead and copy this image. Now I'm going to go into Illustrator. Then I'm going to just go ahead and click. So now that I'm in Illustrator, I'm just going to go ahead and click New. It doesn't really matter which you create. It could be A4 or custom. It doesn't really matter, honestly. So I'm going to click Create. Then I'm going to go ahead and click Paste. And then I'm going to resize this so that it is smaller. Now remember, we are creating this on the basis that we're trying to create this kind of logo. After this, I'm going to show you how to create an esports one, because I know that's what some people want to watch. So this is just your standard business one. So I'm going to show you how we can now customize this, okay? Because this one actually looks pretty similar. So now that we've got something like this, which actually does look pretty cool, we now of course need to convert this into AI. So right here, you want to go up to Adobe Illustrator, click Window, then you want to have two boxes ticked. You want to click Image Trace, then of course you want to go to Properties and click that as well, because if you don't, you're going to have some boxes missing, okay? So then once you click Image Trace, this should pop up on the left-hand side. Now what you also need to do is you need to click Ignore White, and that will remove the background from your image, okay? Now eventually, what you also need to do as well is you then need to make sure that you hit expand once this is done. Now, one thing that you're going to need to change is when you click the preset button right here, you're going to need to make sure that either you click 3 colors or you click 6 colors, okay? And you can change this depending on what you want. I would say that 6 colors is likely the best just because it keeps everything super simple. But if it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you. So I would go ahead and click 6 colors right there. You can see. Then, of course, you can view your tracing results. You can see what's being traced and what they've actually taken from the image right here, which you can see they've traced the entire image. Then, of course, I'm going to just click Outlines with Source Image. Then I'm going to go ahead now, and now that everything is absolutely done, I can click Ignore White as well. Then now that everything is done, I'm going to click Expand. In fact, I don't need to click Ignore White just for this image. I'm going to click Expand. And now that I've clicked Expand, what's happened is my image is now 100% converted into an AI file. Okay, now you can see right here, I can zoom in with what I want, and I completely get everything what I want. If you don't like this, you can just hit Control Z, and then you can go back on the image, and you can just click the tracing result, and then you can just switch it to 16 colors because maybe that might work better for you. So you can see right here, 16 colors does look a little bit better, but I would recommend messing around with this because sometimes it does work on 16 colors and other times it doesn't. So you can also go here and you can type in logo, and then of course sometimes this might look a bit better. It does take a while to load, but you can see right here, this is what it looks like. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click expand, and then this is the final version that we get. So now all I want to do is I want to double click the background and I want to delete. And then essentially what we have now is we now have a final logo that we can move around. Now, of course, you can see right here that when I move it over, this background is not good. So I'm going to go ahead and undo this. And I'm going to go ahead and actually put this to 16 colors. And then I'm going to just hit expand because that looks a lot better. So if I delete the background, so all you want to do with your logo, you're going to have a white background usually. Double click that background and then this should pop up. You should say layer 1 group. Then click the background and just click delete. Then go back to your image, highlight it, and then when you move it off screen, that will be what's on the background. So you should be able to see what's there. And then any unwanted element, so for example, this right here, we can just double click it, delete it, and then highlight it again, and then bring it across here. And then whatever you want gone, you can just simply delete it. So for example, this right here, we can just delete that. And then if we drag it across here, you can see, yep, that we now cut out the logo. So now all we need, okay, now that this logo is pretty much finalized, we can literally save this. This is ours now. All we need to do is, of course, add some text. So essentially what you want to do for the text part is you just want to, let's just make this a bit smaller. Remember, you can resize this infinitely, so it doesn't really matter how big it is. You just want to add yourself some text. Now, usually what you want to have is you want to have 2 lines. So for me, I'm going to have 2 lines right here, and we want to get ourselves fonts. Now, the fonts that you want to use are usually sans serif fonts. So this just means a bold font. So you can go onto a website like the font. Then what you want to do is you want to go over to sans serif. Okay, this is what I like to use for my fonts. But if you have a specific theme, maybe yours is a magician, you can see right here that they have all of these categories, okay? And all of these categories are going to show you. So, for example, if yours is about a love shop, we've got Valentine's Day over here. You can see as well, we've got, you know, Western, if yours is about Western, if yours is about, you know, techno, if yours is Gothic, if yours is, you know, about aliens. They've got all these different fonts. So I would recommend finding a font that suits your theme, then coming back to this, then of course doing the logo. So once you found your magic font, okay, I'm going to go ahead and see which font. I'm just going to name it like Harry's, and then I'm going to put Harry's, and then I'm going to put another one. I'm going to call it Juice Bar, just like that. And then I'm going to just color this logo and change the font. So for this font, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick one of the basic fonts. So a font that I use all the time. This is a font that I think would look nice. Okay, I'm going to put Harry's Juice Bar. And then although this font doesn't look the best, I think it looks suitable for now. So what I'm going to do now as well for the logo as well is I'm going to make sure that one of the text is bigger than the other. So I'm going to put Harry's like that. And then let me just move this away. I'm going to put Juice Bar like that. And then right here, if you don't have this text bar, type in window, then go down to type. It should be on the screen. And then character, okay? Type and then character, and then you should be able to get this little box here. And then essentially, we're going to put the first color. So we're going to highlight this text, then go to color picker. Then what I'm going to do after I grab the color picker is I'm going to pick one of the main colors. So for example, I can pick this green right here, this dark green, which is nice. And then I'm going to go to the bottom. And then of course for here, what I can do is I can either leave it black or I can decide to go to the color picker again on the left-hand side, and then I can grab the orange, okay? So now that I have this, what you also want to do is you probably want to just change the text so that it does look a bit nicer. So for example, just removing the gap here. So let's just remove that gap to 20. In fact, that's too big. Let's just remove that gap to like 35. Okay, let's try 45. And then there we go. Okay, so that actually looks pretty nice. I think that looks pretty simple. Okay, now remember, this is of course just a rough draft. What you can also do as well is you can go to object, then you can go to envelope distort, then you can go make with warp. And then of course you can change your text to have a little bit of an effect to it. So you can see the bold right here just gives it a bit of a nice, you know, effect. You can see also you can have like a flag, like a rise like this. So for example, something like this is, I think this is appropriate. So Harry's juice bar, you can see right there. And then of course you've got something very, very nice, guys. And that was done within seconds. Now you can sell this logo. You can make this logo however you want. You could, you know, put this for your business if you're trying to make a business. And now what's great about this, guys, is you can then of course export this logo into other different programs if you want. So I would recommend you guys do this because I feel like this is definitely something that you can do. So this is a cartoon mascot that I created literally in 5 minutes, guys, and it would have been quicker if I wasn't trying to teach you all how to do it. So that was created with seconds, guys, and I mean that's definitely something you can do. Like literally anyone can do this. So that's how you create clean logo designs. Now of course for the esports one,